it was one of the most beautiful, realistic monkeys that I've ever seen in a movie. Because especially, we've been talking about monkeys a lot.
We are experts.
We are experts on the topic of monkeys.
And also the theory of Charles Darwin. So he says that, yes, we are the same as monkeys. We're cousins. Embrace each other. Let's have a family reunion and everything.
How did he find this out, I wonder?
Oh,
that's really impressive.
So he watched monkeys. He was like, oh, the ears look the same. And look at your mouth and look at your hands. Although you're too hairy.
You need a laser appointment.
Yeah, you need a laser appointment.
A few laser appointments and it will look exactly the same.
Hey pals, welcome to another episode of the Plot Pals podcast.
Welcome to adventurous,
primal episode.
Primal, family-oriented hero's journey about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. A series with a name as long as its history.
God, oh my God, yes, exactly. That name is so long.
Why is there so many of the's in the name? Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes of the.
Ooh. Can you believe I can't remember the name right now? Like, I can't even say it. What movie we're gonna talk about?
The reason is that the original was called Planet of the Apes, so they decided we'll just add a word to each of them.
Yes, as they add the movies, they add to the title too. So by the time like there's like 6 movies, 7 movies, you can't even pronounce it at all.
That's right.
Or like remember
the dynasty of the planet of the Arrakis apes.
I know, you want to make your movie memorable. You don't want to for people to forget it.
However, the trailers of this were really memorable. Every time we saw the trailers, at least for me, I thought, this is immediate. I'm going to watch it as soon as it comes out.
Are you familiar with the concept of evolution? Apes will learn, I will learn. And I will conquer.
I remember watching the trailer and thinking, wow, this is a movie about evolution, about what would life have been like if instead of humans, a different species succeeded and was top rat on Earth. I never watched the Planet of the Apes movies. I'm like sorry to say, because they always looked really scary. You know, in the trailers, oh my God, these monkeys are on horses. They have guns. No,
so weird.
Yeah.
Oh my God, like 2 animals on top of each other, like as if like humans aren't some animals on horses too. But
it just felt a little distant, and like I don't want to put myself through that stress.
The thing is, like if you have a little bit of like, you get to a point that you're aware of yourself, you would be aware of your nakedness probably. So that. The fact that these monkeys didn't even put anything on, that's disturbing. Like, you know, they're on the horses just like that. That's so bad.
This is so true.
That's
They've had
what bothered
consciousness
me a
for
little bit.
Hundreds of years.
Yes. And still, they're like...
Do any of them? I feel like the women wore necklaces and like
something
scarves.
On that, but still like nothing at the...
That's true. Do you think that their hair covers it up? Like they think because they have hair.
It doesn't. Have you seen Monkey? No, it doesn't really.
It covers it in this movie. So if you're going in for that, you prepare to be disappointed. But interesting point. That's a good point. What I love is what you already mentioned, that the myth of Caesar. This guy who, by the way, if we were to watch the previous movies, we would see like he was born first to a human family and he grew up with them and he slowly learned to say words and like sign, and he was smarter than the other apes.
Oh my God. There's
crazy.
Actually some chimpanzees or apes, I think, that I've seen some of their videos, that they could actually do the sign language.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So they're already there.
They're there, yes, exactly. And not only that, they have a fantastic memory, chimpanzees. Oh my God, they could remember where something was before. They could like do puzzles. It's insane. Their memory is so much better than humans. That's for a fact. But it's only the speaking part, or like a little bit more, I think, self-awareness, and they'll be there.
So true. And they
It's
take
like-
care of their children just the same way as humans
Exactly,
do. They
yeah.
even, look very similar from the way they hold things to how they open things. And so you should think, what's different than them from us is they can't speak. Who's to say? Like, they probably can't speak through with the other monkeys, but like they can't say human words yet. But if they can do sign language, that's already better than what I
That's-
can do.
That's
I
so
took
true.
4 months of university classes.
And still,
Yeah.
like, nothing.
So that's really impressive.
Wait. The only thing I know... What is that? Thank
This is
you?
thank you.
Oh,
Good.
I know that.
Yeah. Nice job.
So...
Can you read?
No, Phil can read though. Phil? Ship to Kenya. Wildlife Preserve, Africa.
They're so close to us. Like, it's so scary how a virus could like come about. It's not that out there.
Of
They could
course.
they just need to gain a little bit more brain power. And then what would they do? Like, of course they would destroy humans. Why wouldn't they? We've been putting them in cages for so long. We've been mistreating them. We've been using them and abusing them. And like, when we see one, we kill it. With
How do you
all
kill
animals,
them,
really.
Do we kill monkeys a lot? No, I don't think so.
think
You can't
humans
do
kill
anything.
everything.
You can't do anything with monkeys. You can't eat them. They're so similar to humans. It's so weird. They probably just put them in zoos or like train them or something like that in circuses. But
That's true. At least
awful.
the ones in the zoo would uprise. And then you're thinking, so Caesar, he was an ape, right? Just like a human. He came to some enlightenment about how to live, literally. And then other apes decided to follow him because like his words,
teachings and like
his teachings affected them.
Yeah.
And his teachings are so beautiful. You know the 3 teachings?
No. It reminds me of Cyrus's 3 teaching thing. What is
Exactly.
it?
It probably is the same too. One is ape together strong.
Mm-hmm.
So come together, apes. Don't go against each other. What
If you're together, you're strong. If you're not, yes, you're defeatable.
So Caesar came up with this.
Wow.
That's so cool. Another one is ape, not kill ape. Okay. Listen,
Ape, not kill ape.
He was just
That's-
learning to speak at that time.
Okay.
That's still really impressive. Like, he realized that killing will not do any good. Remember 2001? The ape is like,
Ape, kill ape.
Ape, kill ape. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did not
What
have enlightenment. So, they didn't have morals or
No
awareness,
morals,
laws.
no.
And then the last
So
law
such
is
savages they were.
literally.
Yeah.
Although at least they had the family dynamic, like ape together strong. They
Ape-
understood that one.
But like ape kill ape, so not good.
Weak. You gotta follow all 3 rules. What's the 3rd rule?
So unethical.
I think I know it too. Oh, knowledge is power.
Where did the ape go? It doesn't rhyme. It doesn't go with it. It's
Yeah, right.
it's literally wrong. Like
It's like all the other ones are so grammatically incorrect. Like, ape not kill ape. Ape not strong with kill ape.
But at
knowledge
least-
is
but
power.
but at least it has these beautiful like literal devices that he used. Like ape comes again and again. That's a beautiful thing. That's a good way to write. But then after ape, then you go to something. Knowledge is power.
That's like he just
That's
stole
like-
that from a book. I mean, just copy paste this
let
one
me
too.
do that from like another prophet that humans had or something.
Ape must know knowledge, power.
What Cyrus the Great said was good word, good deed, good thoughts. Is that the one?
That is the one.
I can't even remember that.
Which is, again, like 3 good pillars of behavior. Is if you think good thoughts, then probably you'll also say good things.
And you would do
And you
good.
would do good. And what a good person
And I
you
know
are.
it doesn't sound really fantastic and great, like in translation, but like in Persian, it actually sounds so beautiful.
And it's just on the same level as Caesar's ape no ape kill.
Exactly.
And knowledge is power. This is they're both good advice, I would say. And I like that they both came up with these 3 pillars of how you should behave.
Yeah.
And then people liked it so much that they started to follow Caesar. However, like Caesar was a fighter. He was constantly in battle. His family died. And so the previous films really show his rise and fall. But what's beautiful here is that Caesar is already gone, and people are now remembering these words and kind of misrepresenting what he wanted.
Exactly. And that's what always happens. That is what always has been happening, and it will happen till the end of time. Somebody comes and rises, and they say some things, and they gather some followers on YouTube. And then those after they're long gone, somebody takes that channel and goes and does something that is like de-influences those people that have been following them and takes advantage of that.
Which is fair, because you always mishear. Even people say something to you and you interpret it the way you want anyway. You could say to me, "You look so beautiful today," and I could think, "Is she scheming? You know, is she trying to gain something here?" But you just meant to say.
Possibilities are endless.
Exactly.
Of what you can think.
And so it makes sense that these words would get so misused.
Yes, you're right. I mean, imagine after all these years. And have you done this experiment of like in class or something where somebody starts saying something to the other's ear, and by the time it gets to the end, to the last person, it's not the same thing at all, the same sentence.
And that wasn't even a minute.
That wasn't even,
This is 300 years.
Oh my.
Where there was no books even. So all people could say was translate his words to their children and so forth.
Exactly.
It makes so much sense. So that's a great story idea. Because, you know, the director, he was approached like, do you want to make the next Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie? And he thought, no, they've already made so many. I don't want to.
Yes.
And then he went home and he just thought, you know, this is a job they're offering me. I got to do it. And so he's thinking, where can the story go? What am I thinking? And he came up with this. What if it's 300 years in the future, Caesar is dead, but people are misusing his words to these monkeys, I mean.
That's fantastic. I mean, he read his history and he knew what's going to happen. And that's such a good angle that he took. It's so much better than if he just continued the Caesar story again. Like, that would be boring. Most people wouldn't even want to watch the fourth movie about that. So, such a good approach that he took.
The reason I watched this movie, I went to watch it, is because in the trailer, it shows monkeys in power on horses.
Yeah.
People
You liked that, didn't you?
I love monkeys in power.
On horses.
You know, remember our Monkey Man episode?
Yeah,
we were hot for
I
the
can
monkey in
tell.
power. And so now the humans are like primitive. They're wearing the skirts and they are not
The
skirts.
leaves.
Yeah, the leaves. And so that's such a fascinating story to see human development move back so much where another animal is acting like a human, because like that's how you would develop. That's how you would develop with your family, with your trying to gain power and everything. But just seeing a monkey do that instead of a human, that's so new.
And it's not about like humans going backwards, but it's about like, imagine if another species of animal gained that kind of like awareness that we have right now. What could happen? Like, what could happen? There can never be two animals that have the same kind of consciousness. It would destroy everything. And I'm so glad that nature decided not to gift another species that, you know, it would have been horrible. Even humans would not have humans don't even like can't even stand each other. They always go to war. And to think another species to come, oh no, hell no.
It will be constant war.
Nobody can tolerate that. Yeah.
Yeah, the monkeys these apes are so much stronger than humans too. If they were to come to power, they would easily destroy, choke you.
But you know, the thing is, if they were like physically in a fight with you, but humans have developed technology so much. So like guns.
That's true. But
atomic bombs.
Yeah, you're right. The thing is, these monkeys have the brain power to understand that this is a gun, that I can take it from you and pull the trigger. And so as soon as they start taking that's why really the human is so against, like, please, you can't touch these tanks because the world will end if you find access to our technology. So these apes, even though they don't have the nuclear weapons and everything, because they can think, they are able to steal it from you and learn from that probably. That's how, you know, Noah, he was able to repair the electrical sword thingy.
Right.
So
the shocking thing.
Yeah. It was handed to him. He learned to repair it, and so we would die so easily. Like, just imagine apes who are so similar to us, but now imagine maybe a elephants. If elephants were king, we would be like the rats of the world.
But the thing is, like, yes, they have the awareness and the intelligence, but just because they have not been raised in a society that, like, people teach them constantly about new things and new technologies, still they would be like a child that has all this capacity, of course, but doesn't know things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if humans gate kept everything, all the technology, how would they, like, really figure things out? They have to try and experiment, and it takes a long time for them to learn. Well, of course, if they have had the intelligence for how many years in this movie?
300 at least.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
And I like that what you mentioned is the exact plot of the movie, is you're saying, like, if humans gatekeep and don't let the apes access the technology, then they will not advance that fast. And that's why the human is so adamant. This is her whole purpose, is like, we can't let that door open, or else the apes will forever be stronger. And I like how there's another human who believes the world is already done. Like, humans are never going to come back to power. Might as well just help the apes.
That was so interesting to see. Wow. So do you imagine, like, if something like that happened, a human would do that?
I would do that today.
First.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably the first.
Soon as
Switching sides.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen those apes? The one that's
huge.
like huger and
the
wearing the
gorilla.
Yeah, the gorilla. Oh my god! Every time he came on screen, I was sweating a little bit.
I really want to learn about different names that they have. So there are chimpanzees. These ones, Noah was a chimpanzee, I'm sure. And the big ones that had the muscles, you know, and the head is like... those are gorillas. And that, the
big face raka.
Yeah, the red head.
Yeah.
That one is like that's the ape. That is actually called the ape. Yeah.
And
But
there's
I
another
think all
one.
of them are called apes.
Baboon? Bamboo?
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's the one kind of species. Baboon.
There's so many.
There's
so
so
interesting.
many of them,
and
yeah.
I love, there's actually so many elements of this story that are on point. Like the fact that they've used different apes for different purposes. And how, we start the movie with this monkey who is like kind of scary too, with his friends. And he's strong and jumping up to grab these eggs and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But then we learn actually he is the most gentle of all the apes that we'll see throughout the movie. And his face almost looks like superhuman by the time you meet the gorilla.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I identify with you. Come here, you nice boy.
Such a gentle, and caring, sensitive kind of main character.
I know. And
hero.
And they also managed to make him likable immediately.
Yes.
Within a minute.
Okay, so it's really hard for you to write characters that people can really love. And especially it's super hard when it's not even a human at all. And it's like a whole like CGI, it all depends on editing and like the acting of this person, but the actor is in the suit, so you don't really know what's gonna be the end result. So the fact that they pulled it off, like in probably good writing, good acting, good directing, and fantastic editing, it's like everything worked together so well that you watch that and you believe that's actually a monkey and this is what it's going through, and you feel every emotion that it's feeling, even though they can't express emotions like that, these monkeys. But you see that and you believe it and you relate. What in the world? That's
exactly
power. That's power. That
although they did use a lot of cliche items.
I know.
So many,
It's like a typical heroic plot, It's been done so many times.
Exactly. The guy, he's so good. Noah, he's just, I'm strong, I'm powerful, I'm a kind son, and I want to impress my dad. So that's the story that it starts with. And then my dad gets killed. Oh no, now I have to save my tribe. And so then he goes on this quest to save his tribe.
Yeah.
So yeah, very
cartoony.
Been there, done that. Yeah, cliche and everything. But
it could have easily been like definitely could have been a cartoon or an animation. That's the kind of plot it has.
Exactly. I mean, it's not unpredictable at all. You know exactly where it's going to go at the end.
Exactly.
From the moment that it starts.
But it doesn't make it necessarily bad. It's like a good plot that has worked time and time again. And I love actually this kind of plot, by the way, like this revenge kind of story. And you said earlier in the episode that this story is about evolution, and it is. It is about evolution and revolution, which is so incredible because like evolution is gradual and it takes time, but revolution is like a one night change that happens. It's not really one night, but it's so much faster and it's kind of like against nature. It's like exactly like apes suddenly gaining consciousness. It's a sudden thing. It shouldn't have happened. Like based on nature, it shouldn't have happened. So these viruses that came was totally like out of plan and like so. And also humans even gaining consciousness. That is also a revolution. It's not something that slowly happened.
Really?
Yeah.
How come? Why it makes you think that?
I think it was like, it was not even a thing that was planned or anything. It was just a kind of like, what do you call it? A leap.
Well, don't you think it was kind of over the many hundreds of years where their brains slowly got bigger and their jaws slowly got smaller and they started to now create tools and go into farming and have to like find new ways to run from predators, and then probably through like marriage the better pairs found each other, and then until
it took such a long time to get to the marriage part. Marriage was when they actually
not marriage, maybe just mating.
Yeah, because like it used to be exactly just like these tribes, you know, like these monkeys that have now. It used to be tribes, and then they would raise the kids in the community. Everybody would raise them. And it wasn't until men learned that they could possess land, they could claim land, and they could claim, like, have food on that, like sow and reap food from this, and they could possess women as a result, that they started to do that. So they built villages. They claimed some lands, and they said that, okay, I have this, I can provide these foods and everything. Do you want to be mine forever? You know? So that's how it worked. It's like a business kind of thing. And so until humans got to a point that they had this possessiveness or greed, that was a point that they started to change the society and like the structure of everything. After that, the cities were built and more businesses and more.
So very slow, gradual process, not of one day.
No, it wasn't one day. But like, if you consider it, like compare it with other animals, of course it's a revolution. Like it's so sudden. It's like an exponential kind of thing that is like slowly going, but then suddenly it leaps and goes up and up and up. Like, you know, in investment,
right?
They have that. So it's exactly like that, exponential rate.
That's so cool. I wish I knew more about this. The fact that there's these apes and they slowly learn different ways of becoming top of the food chain.
Yes.
And like any kind of animal that's in front of them, they can beat it easily, to the point that they now are like, you know, on top. and so then they can start to think about becoming kings and forming tribes and like owning land and everything. It happens because they have a brain. Like they could use that to create, like they could create traps. Yeah, what? That's so exciting to me. And we are offsprings of those people. What a privilege. You know, we could have just been the offspring of a cockroach too. But no.
That's amazing.
We have consciousness and we have like a brain, and we can do things with our hands, and like how lucky. Not to mention we got lucky enough to be on Earth where you can live and breathe already. Exactly. That's so cool.
And have oxygen.
I know. Everyone on Earth, we were born into the perfect environment.
Yes.
And still, like, we have to fight with each other so much and create so much trouble. And
I listened to something earlier this week that kind of like changed everything for me. It was like, when you came to this world, you had nothing. Really, you had nothing. And once you go, you also will bring nothing with you to the other world. So it's like, you had nothing to lose to begin with. So even if you are here and you have like the worst day or like the worst things in the world that are happening to you, like imagine the worst things that a human can experience. Still, hunger, I don't know, starvation, so many cruelties, slavery, all of those things. But still, you had nothing to lose to begin with. You came into this world, you had nothing to lose.
Did you have dignity when you were born?
Oh, no.
Why not?
Do you have pride? No, you don't have any of those things because you don't have an ego. You don't have any of those things.
I guess you also don't have freedom because you could die at any moment.
Yes.
Your mom
You
just
just
takes
have
care
nothing. Yes. And so that's kind of freeing, you know? So at any point, if your day you think is so bad and nothing could go wrong and like nothing could go worse than what it already is, you should just remember that you had nothing and you have nothing to lose, really.
That's really good to think about. And that's why they made this movie probably too. Because humans have reached a place where for the most part we've solved all like major problems, you know. Even big sicknesses can be fixed. And if we wanted to, we could end world hunger and everything. You know, there are ways. Like if everyone just went and ate plants and grew plants. And so we have so many solutions, and yet like we're stuck in this level where wars continue happening and you're stuck in your daily struggles of I'll make a few dollars today, and today I'll like try and be with someone, and so then what you need to do is focus on what was happening in the past. Any kind of learning about your history will help you like move past this level, this like place that you're stuck in. And so when you remember, let alone apes, so when you just think about human history where there was no medicine, people were dying of diseases every day.
100 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. And their average death age was like in their 30s. They couldn't do anything. They had no they had no laptop. Can you think about that? It's so hard. And they couldn't even buy books. Like if you wanted a book, you'd have to pay
so
someone
wealthy
to write it for you out.
Oh yeah, that's one thing. You had to be so wealthy to have books. There were no entertainments really if you were poor. Like what kind of entertainments did you have?
You're probably getting killed for other people's entertainment. And there was
wow.
like, you know, it sucked. Life sucked up to not even that long ago.
If you were lucky enough to actually, you said like you would die at 40 or 30. If you were lucky enough to even survive as a child, most children died.
Exactly. Most people died before 20.
You know, my dad's generation was the first generation like in Iran to be vaccinated. So all of the kids that my grandparents had, they all survived. Of course, like there are 10 kids that they had. Like, that's a lot, but they all survived. But a generation before that, like my grandparents' siblings, they would all die. Like, I think my grandma even said she had so many siblings, but they died like really young. So to think that not so long ago, like even 50 years ago, everybody would die like that. There were no vaccination and like,
And so when you reflect on this even a little bit, you realize how lucky you are, how grateful you should be for every minute that you're living in privilege. Especially like, you know, us who live in North America and the best part of the world, and everything is great for us.
Yeah, typical American. Always
but
saying like
even if you live in the worst place,
nowhere else in the world exists. Only America. America is the best.
But imagine even in Iran, where we're from, even when everything is going so awfully, still, if you just look back a decade in the past, it was terrible. Yeah, it was better. Exactly.
It was even today. Like no matter where you are, really, you're a human. You get to be in this world. You get to decide how to react to things.
Yeah, right. That's why also a movie like this is so good, because you sit in the theater for 3 hours, you're watching this ape struggle. He's so stressed, you know.
Yeah,
it's so hard for him. Like,
it's
he
so
has to prove
relatable.
himself
I
to
could
people.
actually see myself in that guy because, you know, always being stressed about things and like trying to be the good one and suppressing that dark side of you, even though this character didn't show the dark side of himself and it was like a good character throughout, but it's so relatable.
And so he has all these emotional and
Yeah.
kind of relatable struggles. And then on top of that, he's also in the jungle where he has to be afraid of other gorillas, like literally killing him and his tribe. So when you watch any kind of film that's this primal, then suddenly you realize, my life is great. I'm privileged.
Wow.
I got to be comfortable. So even if it's just for that reason, it's worth watching this.
I think so. And the thing is, now that I remembered, is that why is it that they categorized apes as one and humans as like the enemy? So like apes are all together and like their enemy is humans, when we know that if all these different kinds of monkeys, they gathered consciousness, they would turn against each other. And of course they did, like gorillas were against that tribe. But like even more so, because like gorillas would be a separate one that would fight like the chimpanzees and like humans. And chimpanzees also the same way, or like different kinds of monkeys. So it's first of all weird that all of these monkeys suddenly like gained consciousness, all these different species. And the fact that they still like work together nonetheless, kind of.
You're right. There should have been more racism.
Because I think so too.
We wanted more racism in this movie.
Exactly. Because it's accurate. Like, if you think about like different species of humans that existed at one point at the same time, they were against each other. Even though, actually, now that I remember, from that time, some of them mated. Homo sapiens, some of them mated with some other species of humans. Which is, I think, why we have so many dumb people in the world. Like, that's gotta be so...
Okay.
I'm probably one of them.
Take.
There
you go. If you make fun of something, it'll happen to you. So there
exactly. I'm probably one of those mixed racial human beings.
One good thing they showed was that this tribe, the eagle tribe, is in one area and they're only friends with each other and everyone is the same chimpanzee. And then this king... Proximus, he employs gorillas and he enslaves chimpanzees.
Yes.
So that's cool. That did happen probably in our history as well.
Exactly.
One race
so
just enslaves the rest.
So the racial thing happened. Okay, we are satisfied.
Okay.
Historically,
Great.
Thank God. Oh my God.
But
that
maybe
was
more
so
could
cool
have
to
been
see.
there.
Well, it's not even. This movie is not about like apes. See what happens to apes if they rise, and what happens to humans. It's like a mirror that this movie holds to you, that shows your history, and like what happened and what you did, what humans did, really.
Exactly. It is exactly a parallel of what humans did. That's so true. I really like that they use so much Roman inspiration.
Yes. Why do you
history.
think that is?
It's so
Probably-
iconic. I don't know why, but the fact that they named this monkey Caesar
Caesar the Great.
immediately is so iconic. Like from the first movies, he was born. The prophecy was, you will become a king. And so they named him Caesar after the Romans. And then he became a king. And then this guy, this new king, his name is Proximus. I just love this.
So Roman.
They are. It's because these apes, they read the Roman books and they were like, now my name is
not
Proximus.
a single original thought of their own. Like, I don't buy it. I don't buy these people could actually like dominate humans.
But
They're
humans
just
copy all the
pasting.
time.
They do.
Humans copy
They do that.
everything.
But at least like the Roman Empire, it was an original thing. Like, it was original. You can't deny that.
At the time.
Yes.
Well, Roman Empire was inspired by the Mesopotamian
that's-
Empire, probably.
That's so true. A lot of like Persian Empire, it was definitely inspired
inspiration.
by that. Yes.
I know. Isn't it so cool that where civilization began ever in the history of the earth is right beside Iran.
Middle East, yes.
Yeah, it's like right where we grew up, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's thousands of years in the past, but that's where it is. And then they started by farming.
That's the best place for farming, actually. It has the best lands ever. And especially at that time, I can't imagine what it was like, because my dad describes his like village and how it was like 50 years ago or something, like when he was a child. And it was so beautiful, and it's nothing like that today. Like, it was jungles, it was so good. And now if you go, not a tree is there. Dry as like, there was actually like a lake around their village. Not there at all.
I know.
Drought. Yes.
One thing is that Earth will heal itself, and if that area was so prosperous before, maybe that's what it's supposed to be now. It's supposed to be dry and everything. So we understand. But how
like,
sad.
But imagine if that was the case, like just a few decades ago.
Yeah.
What was it like 1,000 years ago?
Yeah.
It was the best place to live. Like, you couldn't live
gorgeous,
in Europe a lot, like North Europe, because it was cold, and Russia, like, those places are for weird people. Like, why on earth would you go that high up and live in those conditions? Are you dumb or something?
Yeah, exactly. Especially at the time.
At the time, yeah.
Fur coats don't exist.
Yeah, when there's Middle East.
Yeah.
Why would you go there?
You're so right. Even 10 years ago, when I was in Iran as a kid, I remember seeing the most beautiful places. It would be at a mountainside, green mountainside, with thousands of red tulips.
Yeah.
They just grew on their own. No one planted them there, no government tax service. It just grew. And so you just look, it's like a blue and white sky, and then snowy mountain, greenery, these tulips. You look up at the stars, it's like clear, no pollution, it's just millions of stars. And then another area I remember seeing, because at least my parents, they lived in the mountains, like that's where they lived. And so we would visit sometimes where the relatives were living, and you would just be walking on these mountains, and there would be a lake, and the lake is like clear, crystal clear, full of like these little frogs jumping everywhere.
Yes.
And like fireflies and everything. And it's like a scene out of a movie. And now when you go back, it's completely dry.
Really?
It's everything is yellow. There's no green.
It's yellow. It's always yellow. They're not exaggerating with the filters they put on, the Hollywood.
Yeah. So then you think, thousands of years ago, how would that have looked? It would have been heaven. And that's why civilization began in the Middle East. And we accepted, Persians were top dog at some point. Yeah. Now it's USA. It's okay.
But we'll claim the title.
And not until the land is this dry.
I think like 1,000 years later, everything
changes.
Everything goes back, like it's karma, all these things happen. Once there was these huge civilizations in Roman Empire and like in Greece and in Persia. There was not a single soul in America.
Yeah, they were going through the dark ages in Europe.
Exactly. Tell me about it. And so now that these countries are prospering, now look at like, I don't know, Greece.
Yeah, Greece is like chilling, quiet, no
Italy,
problems.
The best product they have is probably like pizza and pasta and what was it called? Godfather. Mm-hmm. That's like some mafia.
It goes full circle, exactly. Murder, But that's just how it is. At some point something is great, and it won't always be great. And that's that's like the motto of any living being too. It's like nothing lasts forever. So we gotta listen to this. And then the kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is now this new dawn of the monkeys. It's their time. They are going to rule, fucking be the best. And probably at some point they will fall.
It also makes sense that it's inspired by Roman Empire, because at the time that Jesus came, it was like kind of like the same time as Roman Empire, and they were against him because he introduced a new religion, and they were so against that. So they were trying to like defy Jesus and his followers and everything. So it definitely makes sense. It makes so much sense. But there was a time where Roman Empire was so weak that they tried to use this Christianity as a religion to bring people together. So that is what these people...
The audacity. They crucified Jesus.
I know. Wow. Exactly. And that is what is happening in this movie too. So these people are using Caesar's teachings as a way to unite people to be in power. For them to be in power, of course. And use others as slaves. So it's like exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. The movie, it's not, I don't blame the apes for their lack of originality, it's the filmmakers. They read some history books.
That's right.
They threw it in there. Like,
I guess it would be so exciting if it was something new instead of our history. If, how would the apes go about it differently? But also, you know, maybe apes are so similar to humans that it would be how it would go. It's tough to say because, you know, even though it was unoriginal, the story, it was one of the most beautiful, realistic monkeys that I've ever seen in a movie. Because especially, we've been talking about monkeys a lot.
We are experts.
We are experts on the topic of monkeys.
Yes, exactly.
And just this past week, we were talking about 2001.
Yeah.
And we were, of course, praising Kubrick for the ape scenes and
you
story.
were like, oh my God, they look so realistic.
Yeah.
Look at their hair and everything. And I was like, those creepy ass eyes. Oh my God, they're so human.
So just imagine
Jumping
compare that to this. Humanity has come far. Like,
Really?
it's so realistic.
Good for you.
For real, it is really real. Because remember you said, like, they actually look like real monkeys? I agree. You know, for the most part, you can't even tell that these are fake monkeys.
What is that 1% that you think they're?
The 1% is like maybe it looks like a cartoon, just not a cartoon, but just a little bit
when they're
not heavy enough, maybe.
Oh, interesting. So, when does it feel like that? When they're moving, or like the close-ups, or
Usually for me, when they're hitting each other, like one of them is just hitting down like this, and the other guy is like not dying, not bleeding. Not
there's gotta be like. Yeah, as you say, it's got to be heavier. Like when they do that, the person, you have to feel the hit.
Go in, you know.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
Crack a rib.
Right.
One reason they probably didn't do it is because this is a Disney movie. It's made by Fox, who was owned by Disney.
Right.
And so they wanted it to be.
That's why
much
it's
lighter.
cartoonish. That's why it feels like that. Okay.
But you just compare still. This is one part of filmmaking that I have no idea about. I just don't understand it.
And it's crazy to me because you go to university for like filmmaking and they don't teach you these stuff.
This is so special.
That's so
specialized.
Crazy.
You have to go in for learning.
How can you learn that ever? How can you learn this? I wonder.
Well, you can
CGI.
Yeah, you can work with people who know and like.
So how do they know it? Oh,
well,
then
it's like
you have to have connections to get into that.
Yeah, right. You know, it's like Premiere. You know, the editing on DaVinci or something.
Yeah.
Of course, that's a billion times easier because it's like, it's just in front of you. Cut, you know, trim. That's easy. But it's another software that they use. It's just you got to know how to use the software.
And like the acting and directing of that, they're in these suits.
I know.
And in these studios and
cameras capture there's so many cameras around them capturing all their moves.
Oh.
And then the cool thing is the director can take any performance from any time and put it into another scene. Cause imagine you laugh right now, you smile, and then the director's like, "That's a beautiful smile. Actually, I don't want it for the first scene. Yeah, I want it for the end when she smiles like that."
Amazing.
That's so cool.
But although it's really hard to like in editing,
the edit will be hell.
It's
absolute.
Oh my God, yes. But it's you can capture anything. You can have the best parts. You can definitely tailor it how you want it to be.
That's true. That's why the performances were really strong, even in the previous movies. Everyone praises the performances, especially Caesar in the past, and now I really like Proximus. You know, the king?
Yes.
The way his mouth moves, his teeth, his eyes especially. You know?
Ladies and gentlemen, we see Maral have a new crush on
He's he's not my type.
Ooh!
But
I
love the way he looks, but he's like, he jumps up because he wants to rile up these monkeys. He's the leader and he wants them to feel like he is a god. So he jumps up and he goes, "What a wonderful day." And everyone's like, "Oh, wonderful day, wonderful day. Are we thankful for the words of Caesar?" And just the way he says it, like the way his teeth are. So you just think, that's an actor acting it, but then they animated it to look this way, and it's like almost attractive, but also it's
I wonder how the actors look. Yeah,
I know. So it's really impressive. I don't know how they filmed it. It's a mystery to me. It's like a magic trick.
I know, it is magic, absolutely. And to think that these actors actually acted like these monkeys. So you compare this with the 2001 actors of monkeys.
Who also did good.
Who also did good, especially for the time
Yes.
and resources, everything. But like compare them,
Yeah. It's a
they're
world
too
of difference.
jumpy. Yeah.
50 years has done this. But the original Planet of the Apes movie came out the same year as 2001. So they both came out in
Really?
1968. And the plot is this. There's an astronaut in a spaceship. He goes to a distant planet. Just notice how similar this is to 2001, by the way.
Yeah.
Goes to a distant
Oh,
planet.
this is the other movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Planet of Apes.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
Goes to a distant planet. When he
Okay.
comes out, there is some extraterrestrial life. It's
Oh.
these apes. And in this planet, humans are not developed at all, and apes are the kings. And so this human now gets enslaved on this planet, and then he finds a woman, and they escape together. And at the end, they find out the planet is actually Earth. This was Earth all along. He just went into space, accidentally came back to Earth, and then, it was hundreds of years in the
What
future.
kind of astronaut are we?
You were worried about Jupiter. Now you nitpick on this one.
Exactly. Like we were talking about this, and you have to go and watch our 2001 episodes. By the way, it was crazy. They have a mission to go to the gas planet Jupiter
But it's better than this. They
that you
go back
can't
to
even
Earth.
orbit around. Like
You can't even. Look at this. People in 1968 didn't know much about
I
space.
think they didn't know that, even though I know a lot of good astronomers existed in the past that studied everything really accurately. But then somehow, 50 years, 100 years before, nobody knew anything. about this.
Exactly. But you have to think about the story aspects more than the
I don't care
realistic
about
aspects.
that.
It's so
gotta be
iconic.
realistic.
In the movie, when he sees, this is how the movie ends, Planet of the Apes. He has escaped. He's on a boat, he's about to get away and go to his Earth. When he sees the Statue of Liberty in the sand, fallen and broken, and that's when he realizes, oh my God, this is
liberty.
Earth.
Oh yeah, my Earth.
And so
I thought it was a symbol of, oh no, I lost my liberty. Humans lost it all.
that's definitely why they put it there too. So okay, this is the
This
point
is
I'm
New
getting
York.
to. Oh,
Concrete
my favorite.
jungle. Now it became a jungle.
All the connections and the neurons are forming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say.
Uh-huh.
So if you compare the monkeys in Planet of the Apes original and 2001, you see how good 2001 actually was. Because in Planet of the Apes, it's just a human in a monkey mask. The face is fake as hell. We'll put up the photos, and they're walking around like humans. I know the point of the movie is that the monkeys have consciousness and all that. But guess what? The point of 2001 is the same. The monkeys gain consciousness, but they act like more monkey-like.
monkeys. The one thing that I realized in this movie was that monkeys have short legs.
Yeah, and long arms.
Really long arms, yeah, exactly. So humans really can't act it out. But 2001 did really good.
true.
They were sitting.
Oh,
most of the time.
yeah.
And the jumping parts, that made sense because it looks like a monkey exactly.
And monkeys, even in this movie, jump a lot, really. I mean, they jump from tree to tree and all over the place.
Monkeys do not have the... No, I take it back. I didn't even say it. I take it back. I wanted to say don't have the flexibility that humans have, but that's a lie.
Oh, yeah, that's a lie.
They have so much flexibility. But in terms of functioning in a city, they can't do that. They can't sit around in one thing. They have ADHD. They are hyper active. And on the other hand, they're also very
I know.
and the way they walk is they have some disability or something. Their
They're so
legs
cute.
are it's like that.
Brackets.
It is like this. So when they're walking, it's it's hard.
But they can walk on two legs.
If I was a monkey, I would jump on these lights that we have right now.
I know how fun.
You could do anything, but that doesn't go
Yeah.
with civilization and.
You don't have to sit though for civilization to work.
Now, one
you?
more thing is that if monkeys developed their consciousness along with humans, British people would always call them savages. They would never let them enter society whatsoever.
There's this iconic part in a previous Planet of the Apes movie where I don't think he's British, but some
Oh.
well, the actor is British.
Uh-huh. Wow.
He's fighting, this British actor is fighting the
Come a
ape.
long way.
In fact, it's the actor who played Draco Malfoy in Harry Potter series.
What?
But anyway.
You're kidding.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Oh.
And so he's playing a similar character. He comes up, he's beating the ape, and the ape grabs his arm, and he's like, "Take your hands off of me, you damn dirty ape!" And the ape is like, "No!
What did you call
No, you sissy!" No, he doesn't say that. But he just says no because that's the first time the apes ever talk. You got to see that clip.
Oh.
So great. And so it's like really moving because that British guy, he's being so racist towards, "Oh, you dirty ape," whatever. And then the ape finally talks back
Wow.
and starts beating him. Strong.
Further proving his point.
Yeah. Well, he was also beating the ape, so
Okay. All right.
fair fight.
Both, yes.
Both uncivilized.
Yes, exactly. And also the theory of Charles Darwin, which I would love to talk about, which was really mocked for it when he first started. He was talking about the fact that humans are, well, descendants of monkeys. And he was laughed at.
Wow.
So, full circle.
Goes
it's not.
to show.
Yeah, exactly. So, Charles.
The British people were laughing?
Yes, they were laughing. They
These
were
guys.
Yeah, and he was also British, Charles Darwin.
Oh, okay.
So like, it comes full circle there. And also, so he says that yes, we are the same as monkeys. We're cousins. Embrace
he-
each other. Let's have a family reunion and everything.
How did he find this out, I wonder?
Oh,
That's really impressive.
So he watched monkeys. He was like, "Oh, the ears look the same, and look at your mouth, and look at your hands. Oh, I wonder why humans didn't realize this, but we're like exactly the same way."
That's true.
Although, yes, you have this huge thing in front, and like you're too hairy.
You need a laser appointment.
Yeah, you need a laser
A few
appointment.
laser appointments and
And
it looked
then-
exactly the same.
Exactly. Yes. So he was the first one to crack this mystery. Good for him. Like it took thousands of years. Only 200 years ago, people figured out humans look like monkeys. Interesting.
That's right. Oh, knowledge is power. I think Caesar was right.
What was he? Oh, this is what's important. Organized knowledge is power. Because knowledge is everywhere. Common knowledge, everybody has that, or it's cheap and attainable. But organized knowledge is important. Napoleon Hill.
Amazing.
Yeah, not my quote at all.
There's another book I'm reading, I think by Michael Rabiger. And he's actually saying knowledge is not power whatsoever.
It's not. Money is good.
No. He's saying not knowing is power. Which is like super opposite of what we know. But basically his main point is we don't know anything about where we came from. We don't know how we gained consciousness. Do you remember the day you were born? No. You just suddenly one day it clicked for you and then you started having memories. So you don't know how you were created. You don't know what this world is. You actually don't know. You know, we've created so much like boxes to help us understand.
Yes.
This is a studio, these are mics, we are friends, this is a light, we know these things, but we don't know what the world is at all. Like, what if I just decide to choke you right now?
Oh my god, I was scared. Oh,
that would be like a big ape side of me coming out. But
Yeah.
okay, I'm never gonna do that. But
it's a possibility.
it's like we don't know what this world is whatsoever. Like
Yeah.
the
Like,
building
how
could
can I
just fall.
trust you? Right
Exactly. Like we learned that if you smile, like that's a sign of trust. Like we've built all of these different things. That's all. But at the end of the day, you don't know what this world is at all. The sun could just stop shining and all these things could happen. And now I'm afraid Anna will attack me at any time. But
yes, and we don't even know if the earth is flat or not.
we kind of don't. Exactly. We know based on some people researched it, but like, do you know? No. You just have to hear someone tell
For
you.
all we
and
know,
accept it.
moon could be just a plate that is like a circle. Just
Exactly. This is knowledge. We're teaching you things. And then also you don't know where you're going to go after you die. So these three crucial things we don't know. And then we just walk around acting like we know things.
I know.
Yeah. So That's what that guy is saying.
I even know that. Wow, that's so crazy because we always claim this, and it's arrogance and it's pride, and it keeps us from learning more stuff.
Yeah, right.
The time that we learned most was when we were like, 1 to 5 years old, when we knew we didn't know anything. So we just watched everyone. We watched our parents. We listened to everything they said and everyone around us and the environment. So we learned a lot during those 5 years. It's actually so insane how much information a child learns in that span of time. And after that, it slowly declines and declines. And once you're in your 20s, you're not going to learn anything. Actually, it's so hard to learn. But you have to open up your mind. So if you open up your mind and go back to that 5-year-old you again, who had no ego, which would tell her, oh, you know stuff. You don't have to ask. You don't have to do that. And you wouldn't question. If you go back to that state of mind, that you're curious about things, then everything starts to flourish for you.
So cool.
Yeah.
And that applies to this movie exactly as well, because the humans decided they know everything, and so they created this new, I don't know, needle.
What's that?
Needle? They created some kind of thing to experiment on these monkeys, and they thought, we know everything, let us now create new life and new knowledge and everything. And then with their hubris, they created monkeys who know more, who are able to perceive, and then that destroyed humans, their pride. And now these monkeys are going to go through the same thing, because I'm sure there will be more movies, but there will be this Proximus. I don't know if Proximus died at the end, but even Noah, these monkeys would get to a place where they think they know everything. They think they've read all the books and written all the books, and then that's when humans will win and come to the top again.
The thing is about life is that everything is changing all the time. It's changing every day. But what is the downfall of humans is that they get used to a set of rules and boxes, as you say, and ways of living that others have taught them from like years ago. And they stick to that. And not only that, also beliefs and things like that, like Caesar's teachings. That also shows that humans are stuck with these beliefs, and they want to keep like going back to them for answers, not knowing that life is constantly changing, and they have to change their ways of living and the ways that they view life and the ways they go about it. So if we insist on going back to those things, we're always going to fall down and get destroyed. So it's
true.
inevitable for these monkeys to also fall.
That's so beautiful. And that really wraps up the film as well. That's exactly what we should learn from the film. That's what the monkeys should learn. That life is ever changing, that you can't rely on anything to stay the same, that evolution is all about change, in fact.
Yeah.
And that's why this movie is worth watching in the theaters.
It is absolutely worth watching. I wish I watched the other 3. They sound so exciting.
They sound so exciting and violent. Yeah.
Don't know if I'm into that. But this one wasn't as violent, which was really cool. As you said, it was like a Disney movie, so that makes sense. And is it so bad for me to expect like a romance between that human and that Noah guy?
I really expect a romance too. I'm like, that other woman monkey, go away. You're not interested.
What the heck? Yes.
You can't even find an egg for yourself. Noah has to find the egg for you.
I know, yes.
This
and look
woman
at you,
is attractive.
like,
blue eyes.
Exactly.
Gorgeous
the hair,
lady.
like, she's delicate.
Smart.
And look at you.
Yeah. So I was totally expecting them to do something, even though that's super...
Even though I was like speculating how that would go.
I think it would go easily. There would be no problems. Because all you need is like an apple and a banana. And then it will come together and everything will be beautiful.
I was really thinking hard about this. I don't think that's a good adjective, but I was really thinking about this when I'm watching the movie, like all the different ways that it could go. And no, I wasn't speculating that.
Yeah.
Could it happen or not?
Exactly. At least if they hug, maybe if they hold each other a second longer.
And
maybe they're hinting at something.
He's not even wearing anything, so
He's not even.
Isn't
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he's not even wearing a ring. He's available. But you're
that
right.
also?
He's
that also
always-
is so available.
Yeah.
He's a single eligible,
Eligible
bachelor.
bachelor. And he's not wearing pants. You know, he's always ready to go.
Exactly.
So I was expecting that as well.
Like that takes a lot of time. Do you know how much time is wasted annually on
Taking up the belt, the button.
Yeah.
Takes so long.
So that's like ready to go. That's one advantage.
So you know what? I think that's why they made that girl a woman. Why
That girl,
else?
a woman.
Yeah. Why else? Like, why wasn't she an unattractive lady? Why was she the most gorgeous woman to ever exist?
No.
Why wasn't it a boy? Why wasn't it
Yes.
like a elder woman?
Exactly. And did you see the last scene? Like it was so emotional and like the tension.
Maybe the baby would be quite intelligent.
Would not have a jawline.
He would have big muscles.
Oh, he would have the potential. He has to work out.
Yeah, that would be the baby of them. And he's a provider. He's a kind man.
Yeah, he would be gentle by good father.
I'm sure they're hinting at it. Like, why else? They've got to be hinting at it. What do you think?
Have you ever watched a movie that humans and apes get together at all?
You know, we watched Dracula. I watched the version where a human and a wolf get together. That was pretty spicy.
But how does he look? Exactly like a wolf or like a human in a fursuit?
He looks like a wolf.
A wolf.
No, you're right. He looks like a human in a werewolf.
Okay. Okay, no.
But yeah.
We're not into fairy stuff, by the way.
Please cut that. Yeah.
We're not into that. It's
We're just stating the obvious,
speculating.
that there's like a main character who's a man, eligible bachelor, another main character who's a woman,
eligible
sexy
lady. Yes.
Why would they be together other than to mate, get together physically and emotionally?
The thing is, like, for that ape, what he knows is that you get together only to create babies. And since he can't do that with a human, we don't even know.
Maybe he can. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
There's so many possibilities. And one thing I kind of don't like, but also like about this movie is that it ends with a cliffhanger. You don't know even what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So the door has opened. The woman is like looking into the distance. Oh, okay, I did it. I saved the world. And then the monkey is like, I'll be back again, you know. And so it ends with, the next movie probably these
he's
two are gonna fight
proposing.
together. Yeah. Probably she's like, let's go meet the family first, and then, you know, it's gotta happen.
No, we can't do that. They don't like you around. Yeah, you have to meet my mother. Oh, no.
And then he falls in love with the mother.
Oh, no. What are
That's
you?
a different plot.
That's so...
I watched too many rom-coms this week.
Oh,
so I'm just connecting it back to that.
Yeah, it makes sense. It definitely makes. But rom-coms aren't that dramatic. Are you sure you're not mistaking it with like Turkish dramas or?
Oh. Let me tell you a rom-com plot I saw. An older man is dating a younger woman, and it's super creepy because she's like 20, he's 60.
Okay.
They go to the cottage, they're having sex, and then the girl's mother shows up. And she's like horrified. What is this old woman doing with my daughter?
Old man.
Yes, it is an old man. And then throughout the movie, the older man and the mom get together and start to fall in love. And they get together and marry.
Oh.
And it's the most beautiful romance you've ever seen. And that's the
I'm
plot of As Good
traumatized.
As It Gets. The older
Where's
woman...
the cum in the room?
The older woman is getting pursued by a younger man too. So they're both kind of in a relationship with younger people, but finally they decide to come together. And it's a really cool romance. And then
What the fuck?
I
It's
know.
not romance at all.
but actually as soon as you start watching, it's so charming. So there you go. Like Noah might fall in love with May's
The
mother.
mother.
And that could be a better relationship for them. Who knows?
Exactly. If I wanted to add anything to this movie or the next upcoming ones, I would add more drama. I would love a little bit of drama. Of course, romantic stuff. And-
Spicy.
Exactly. So much spice.
And maybe more black and white characters. So Noah would have to have some like personal, selfish desires.
Yeah. He gets angry, lashes out, something like that.
And then I would say the gorillas should have a little bit more personality to them. Because
they're
gorilla...
not just brutes.
Yeah.
Why would you assume that gorillas are just these brutes? Why?
So that's just not
That's
a good assumption.
like assumptions, and definitely cancel them for that. So
exactly.
bad.
But other than that, it's really fun. It's a cool experience, especially just to reflect on your own life. And I love doing new movies too. There's so many good movies coming out. So we'll definitely keep an eye on the cinema and do movies that are very recent. But also we love the classics. So please let us know. What are your favorite films? What have you been meaning to rewatch? Because we'd love to rewatch it with you.
Exactly. And what are your favorite books and stories in general that we could talk about? And what did you think of this movie? Or are you even going to watch it? And what do you think of the themes that it had? Thank you so much for watching this episode.
And see you on the next one.
See you. Bye.